ما كان محمد أبا أحد من رجالكم ولكن رسول الله وخاتم النبيين.
اعوذ باللہ من الشیطان الرجیم. بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم. نحمده ونصلی علی رسول الکریم وعلی آلہ وصحابہ اجمعین. رب اشرح لی صدری ویسر لی امری واحلل عقدۃ من لسانی یفقہوا قولی. الحمد للہ وسلام علی عبادہ الذین اصطفیٰ. اللہم ارنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعہ وارنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابہ. یہ سٹریم بہت دنوں کے بعد کی ہے کیونکہ بہت سارے لوگوں نے بہت سارے سوال کیے، اور بعض سوالات تو میرے چینل پر بھی میسج کی صورت میں آپ دیکھ سکتے ہیں کہ لوگوں نے ڈائریکٹ سوال پوچھے ہیں، اور ان میں سے بہت سارے لوگوں کا تعلق قادیانیت سے ہے. اور ایک میسج تو ایسا ہے، کسی نے مجھے کہا کہ میں ایک قادیانی یا احمدی لڑکی ہے اس سے شادی کرنا چاہتا ہوں، تو اسے میں بتانا چاہتا ہوں کہ قادیانیت غلط ہے، تو آپ میرے سوالوں کا جواب دیں. اس لیے آج یہ مختصر ہوگی جو سیٹنگ ہے، لیکن یہ انگلش میں ہوگی. انگلش میں ہونے کی ایک وجہ یہ ہے کہ ہمارے ایک چینل پر کوئی انگلش سپیکنگ جو جنریشن ہے یورپ میں اور ویسٹرن ورلڈ میں رہتی ہے، وہ آیا اور اس نے کسی سے ایک سوال پوچھا، اور انہیں ان کی انگلش کی نہیں سمجھ آئی، لیکن وہ اپنے روایت کے مطابق، وہ قادیانی جو تھا یہاں کا بورن تھا شاید، لیکن وہ بھاگ گیا. تو اس کے سوال کا بھی میں جواب دوں گا. This program is in English basically, and I have decided to answer the questions of those people who primarily speak English language, and that's their first language as a matter of fact, and they speak this language at home as well. I will answer few questions. There'll be 3 or 4 questions I will answer today, and the next stream will be very soon on Saturday or Sunday this week, and I'll try to answer more questions for the people. You are very welcome to join this stream because I have sent the link to join, and if you want to ask any question, I will be able to answer your question. And I remember many of the Qadiani people said to me in the past that, let us talk to you and we will give you such an argument that your head will spin. Now I'm inviting you to my channel. Even if you speak Urdu, language, I will be able to answer in Urdu language as well. So you are very welcome, and come and ask the questions. The first question, one of the person asked me, he said that you never take the name of Mirza Ghulam Qadiani with any respect. I have answered this question few times in the past, but very quickly, I want to answer it again. I would say that you watch my video about Musalma Kazzab and Mirza Ghulam Qadiani al-Kazzab, then you will know why I do not use any word of respect for Mirza Ghulam Qadiani. And the reason is this. Very first reason is that in the life of Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wasallam, many people claim to be the prophet, just like Mirza Qadiani. And one of the prominent person among those claimants was Musalma al-Kazzab. I want you to know that the Musalma's real name is Musalma. There is no ye or y in his name. Musalma means the one who is proven. The disciples of Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam started calling him Musalma, and Musalma means the small one, the little one, which has got no position. Now everyone among the Muslim world call Musalma al-Kazzab as Musalma Kazzab. I mean, I call him Mirza Ghulam Qadiani al-Kazzab. There should be no problem with it. In his life, Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam wrote letters to several head of states, kings of their time. And if you don't know, Musalma or Musalma al-Kazzab was the ruler of Yamama. You should know that. He was no ordinary man. His father was a ruler, his grandfather was a ruler. And Yamama was not a small kingdom. And he was the ruler. On the screen, you can see now that I'm showing to you a letter which was written by Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam to Kisra of Iran. You can read this letter and you will clearly see this. I will bring it little up so you can see the whole of it. And I'll read it to you. It says, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of Allah, who is Rahman and Rahim. Min Muhammad Rasulullah, from Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam, ila Kisra, towards to Kisra. Next, Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam wrote, Azim, mean the great. He has used a word of respect for Kisra, despite the fact that this was the man or the king who killed one of his ambassadors as well, if I remember correctly. And he was against Islam. However, when Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam addressed him, he said, Min Muhammad Rasulullah ila Kisra Azim, Faris, the great Kisra of Iran. Faris is Iran. Salamun ala man ittaba al-huda. This is a verse in Surah Taha as well. It says, may peace be upon those who follow the right path. Wa amana billahi, and believe in Allah, wa rasulahu, and his prophet. Wa shahada an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lah. Wa anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. And they give a witness, and they stand a witness that there is no one worthy of worship except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wasallam, his abd and prophet and a messenger. You can see this letter is written to a non-Muslim, a man who actually killed some of the Muslims in the life of Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam, if I remember correctly. And he called him Azim. He didn't use any word of which won't show a big respect, and that's the original copy of the original letter written to Kisra from Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now I will show you another one. This was written to Najashi. He was another ruler. Again, it says, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, in the name of Allah who is Rahman and Rahim. Min Muhammad Rasulullah, from Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Ilan Najashi, to Najashi Azim, the great Najashi, Al-Habsha, the great Najashi of Al-Habsha. Najashi was a Muslim, he was a Christian man. He was a friend of Muslims as well. But he used the same word for Najashi and the same for the Kisra. Kisra, who was the enemy of Islam. So you can see these are the two letters to the two. Now, when he wrote a letter to Musalma al-Kazzab, who claimed to be the prophet like Mirza Qadiani, I will show you the original copy of that letter as well. I did put the original copy of that letter, and I will find that copy for you in a second, and I'll share it with you before I go forward. And give me a second, I have found the copy and I'm going to share it with you. I'll remove this thing. You can see that, and I'll try to make it bigger. When he wrote the letter to Musalma al-Kazzab, he clearly said there that you can see Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim min Muhammad Rasulullah, from Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam ila Musalma al-Kazzab. His real name was Musalma, I told you before. He used his real name, he didn't call him Musalma like the Sahaba Rizwanullah alayhim. They started calling him Musalma Samal, and Musalma was the proven one. So he wrote Al-Kazzab with you. I have underlined that part, Ila Musalma Al-Kazzab. Then again he wrote the same thing, Salamun ala man ittaba al-huda. You can see there is no word of respect used by Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam for Musalman al, whereas he used for all the non-Muslims. The reason was very clear, because this Kazzab man was claiming to be the prophet like Mirza Qadiani. Although he was the ruler of Yamama, yet Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam did not use any word of respect for him. None whatsoever. Now, on that grounds, let me put the other screen back. It should come up. Yes. Now, I'll say it again, that when Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam chose how to address Musalma Kazzab, he called him Musalma al-Kazzab, whereas to every other ruler he called them by his name and then added Azim, the great one, with them. Like you can see in the screen that Al-Najashi Azim al-Habsha. The same thing Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam used for Aswad al-Ansi as well. He called him al-Kazzab. He never used any word of respect for him, and he stopped people to address them with the respectful word. And after Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam, all the Khulafai Rashidin, none of them ever used any word of respect for Salma al-Kazzab or the people like Aswad al-Ansi and the other claimants of prophethood. Now, there is one thing I want to mention here. There are some people who go to Qadiani streams or even on their own streams. The first thing Qadiani says, if you don't accept Mirza Ghulam Qadiani as a prophet, it's like asking somebody, if you don't think Musalma al-Kazzab is a prophet, call him Sahab, Sir. So I have seen many Muslims, they start calling him Mirza Qadiani, and I can't even call him Sahab, but they use the word Sahab. Then you ask them, why did you call him? No, I didn't call him Swad Alif He Be Sahab, which is the word of respect. He said, I actually called him Mirza Ghulam Qadiani Seen Alif Be Sahab, which means one who is abusive. I want to ask those people who give this argument that I didn't call him Sahib, I called him Saab with Seen. Aren't you deceiving somebody, whether he's a Muslim or a non-Muslim, Murtad, or whoever he is? Islam does not allow you to deceive people. If you think Mirza Ghulam Qadiani is abusive and Saab, make it very clear that I will call him Saab with Seen, which means abusive right in the beginning. And they will not talk. You give them an impression that you are calling him Sahib, which is against the tradition of Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In Urdu, you can call it, they are committing Toheen Risalat na'uz billah. You cannot do that. By pleasing any Qadiani, you will get no reward for it. You just, your truth, I tell every Qadiani truth. You come to me, I will never call you Mirza Ghulam Qadiani, any word, Sahib or anything. I will call him at the best Mirza Ghulam Qadiani al-Kazzab. That's how I will address him. You come here, I have given you the link, and talk to me. Why aren't you talking to me? None of you have come. You used to write on my website, on my channel, that you have such an argument that my head will spin. Now tell me about this argument. Now they will say, the Qadiani will tell them, oh no, Mirza Qadiani is not a liar. He's not a Kazzab. Now, look, the next question was, now I'm sure that it's clear to you that one who is a Muslim should never use a word of respect for Mirza Ghulam Qadiani or the likes of him. There are plenty of them. They are Mahdi of Sudan. There was an Iranian guy who claimed to be Mahdi, Masih, whatever they want to claim. There are lots of mentally ill people. Mirza Ghulam Qadiani was one of the mentally ill people. I'm a medical scientist. I have never seen any patient of schizophrenia who fits on the definition and both major and minor criteria of schizophrenia as Mirza Ghulam Qadiani does. You watch the videos. There are 4 videos I have made. They are titled Pagal, 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 and I'll make them in English as well, so English-speaking world can understand what I'm saying there. I have proven from his own writings. Mirza Ghulam Qadiani writings have contradictions from beginning to the end, millions of them. Every word Mirza Ghulam Qadiani has ever written has a contradiction. He and his writings can only be explained if you realize that the man was mentally ill and he was schizophrenic. He fits in 100% in both major and minor criteria of schizophrenia. I have given a comparison from latest medical website. It's called Up to Date. Every hospital in Europe subscribed to this website. And the doctors are given an access to this website so that they could update themselves. It's one of the best websites. There are others like Medscape is a free one. You can consult Medscape because you need a subscription to go to Up to Date, but you can go to Medscape as well. Now the next question somebody asked me, and if someone wants to come, you are very welcome to come and join me. He came to the live stream of one of Muslim scholar. He was English speaking, and unfortunately, our Muslim scholar couldn't understand English. English doesn't make you a scholar. English is not a language of Islam. All the languages are nice, they are good. I've got nothing against it. But not knowing English doesn't mean that you are not a good scholar of Islam. Knowing extra languages is obviously good. There was a man in the middle who was translating in Urdu to the scholar, Muslim scholar, and Muslim scholar replied in English to the young guy, not young guy, he was in late 20s, early 30s probably. He was sitting and he was asking a question. Firstly, like Qadianis, they want to run away. They will use abusive language with you. They will call you Abu Jahl. They will call you the names. That is their argument. They will never come to the facts, the proven facts in Islam or in any discipline of knowledge. So he asked only one question to this scholar, and it stuck to my mind, and I couldn't believe that and this is one of the favorite verse of Quran the Qadianis come up with to prove Mirza Ghulam Qadiani al-Kazzab. was, na'uz billah, a prophet. He was not even a human being in my criteria, in any criteria. So this is the verse in of Surah Nisa. Without Bismillah, it's verse number 69, and with Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, it's verse number 70. And many Qadianis will come up with this one. It says, وَمَنْ يُطِيعِ اللَّهَ وَرَسُولَهُ فَأُولَٰئِكَ مَعَ الَّذِينَ أَنْعَمَ اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِمْ مِنَ النَّبِيِّينَ وَالصِّدِّيقِينَ وَالشُّهَدَاءِ وَالصَّالِحِينَ وَحَسُنَ أُولَٰئِكَ رَفِيقًا. For all those who pay heed unto God and His apostle, the Prophet, which in simple English is وَمَنْ يُطِيعِ اللَّهَ, those who obey Allah, وَالرَّسُولَ, and His Rasul. فَأُولَٰئِكَ, but as they will be ma'alladina, ma'alladina, they will be with those people. Ma means with. Alladina, people, an'ama Allahu alayhim, upon whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sent blessing. Those who are bestowed with Allah's blessing. Minan nabiyina, from among prophets. Was-siddiqina, and those who are the truthful people. Was-shuhada'i, and those who are martyrs. Was-salihina, and those who did good deeds. وَحَسَنَ أُولَٰئِكَ وَحَسَنَ أُولَٰئِكَ رَفِيقًا. And it's very nice. How nice is a company of these people? Rafiq means a companion. Arabs use two words for the friend. Rafiq, the one who is a companion and not really very well known to each other. I'll give you an example. If you have ever been to the Arab world, and if you had not known their behavior of modern Arabs, they will call you Rafiq. Rafiq means a companion, a friend. They will tell you it means a friend. But Rafiq is a friend who you know very little or nothing about. That is a Rafiq, your companion, who is going somewhere with you or has come and met you, but you are not really one-to-one with him. Arabs and Pakistani people actually take it as an insult that he's calling me Rafiq. And if an other Arab he knows or his neighbor he has known for many years, he comes to that Arab, he will call him Siddiq, which the other Muslim non-Arabs translate. So he is the true friend. Siddiq means a friend he knows very well. Actually, when the Arabs probably, many of the Arabs can't explain this. Rafiq is no insult to anybody. Rafiq means a companion. The Holy Quran has used for the people who will do good deeds and who will obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and His Prophet will be with the prophets, in the company of prophets. وَحَسَنَ أُولَٰئِكَ رَفِيقًا. And how nice, how goodly are these, a company are these? How nice are these companies? وَحَسَنَ أُولَٰئِكَ رَفِيقًا. It's a very nice. And how nice is this company? The Qadiani will tell, oh, look at this verse of Holy Quran. Actually, it's saying the one who will obey Allah and the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he will be blessed, and blessing will be he will become prophet or Siddiq or Shaheed or Saleh, the man who is very truthful, or you can call him the saint as well, and martyr as well, and the one who did the good deeds. He said, look, it's written, he will be with the prophet. My dear Qadianis, and I know one thing for fact, 90% plus Qadianis do not know these things, that their own Jamaat and their illiterate Khalifa the one who is honestly a thorough idiot, this Masroor, and his cronies, they are actually feeding them. Look, these Muslims hate us. They abuse us. ہمیں تو جی گالیاں دیتی ہیں. ان کا تو پوچھو ہی کچھ نہ. یہ گالیاں اس لیے دیتے ہیں کہ ہم تو سچے ہیں. What I have said in Urdu is, they say, oh, they abuse us. They are telling lies. Whereas the fact is, my dear Qadiani, your own people are abusing you. They are feeding you complete lies. This word simply means فَأُولَٰئِكَ. Therefore, those people, مَعَ will be those with those أَنَعَمَ اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِمْ, who has been bestowed blessings, the prize by the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And who are the people? The prophets, the Siddiqeen, martyrs, Salihin. You will not become a prophet. It says nowhere. It says ma'allazina, you will be with them. And that was the blessing on the Sahaba Ridwanullah alayhim as well. They were in their life, in this world, they were so blessed that they were with my Aka wa Maula Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. They were in his company, in this world. That's what it means. Rasulullah. وَمَنْ يُطِيعُ اللَّهَ وَالرَّسُولَ فَأُولَٰئِكَ مَعَ الَّذِينَ أَنْعَمَ اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِمْ مِنَ النَّبِيِّينَ وَالصِّدِّيقِينَ وَالشُّهَدَاءِ وَالصَّالِحِينَ وَحَسُنَ أُولَٰئِكَ. They were in the company of all these in their life. And the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is promising you that you will be in the company of these people if you will obey Allah and His Prophet. Ma'allazina, with them. Now they say, no, ji, Ma is not with them. He will be one of them. So for satisfaction of one of the person who asked me this question, actually I not only watched this question was being asked by one of the Qadiani, I also saw that someone was actually asking me as well in a little while ago. That's why I decided to answer this question. So I typed the word in Google to see what the Google wants to tell me. And you can type as well. Those who obey Allah and His Prophet will be with prophets. وَالَّذِينَ يُطِيعُونَ اللَّهَ وَرَسُولَهُ يَكُونُوا مَعَ الرَّسُولِ. Look, he has used the word prophet. What I wrote was, those who obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His Prophet will be with the Prophet. They will not become prophet. So Google has translated, وَالَّذِينَ يُطِيعُونَ اللَّهَ وَرَسُولَهُ يَكُونَ مَعَ الرَّسُولِ. They will be with the Prophet. Ma means you will be with him. If I would write, those who obey Allah and His prophets will become prophet. You know, that's what the Qadiani said. They will become prophet. Then Google will translate, وَالَّذِينَ يُطِيعُونَ اللَّهَ وَرَسُولَهُ يَسْبَحُونَ الرَّسُولَ. يَسْبَحَ الرَّسُولَ or يَسْبَحُونَ الرَّسُولَ. Then it means yasbaha or yasbahun means they will become prophet. I actually tried to do both versions. Yeah, you can see this. Those who obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His prophets will become prophet. Man ata'a Allah wa rasulahu yasbaha nabiyya. Those who will obey Allah and His Prophet, yasbaha nabiyya, they will become prophets. And I have just shown you that word ma'a is not used here. And You can type a simple word in the Google Translate as well. It says, I'm with my friend. Ana ma'a sadiqi. I'm with my friend. You know, I just told you, Rafiqa mean a friend or a companion you know little about. Sadiq is a companion who you really know who this guy is. So, ana ma'a sadiqi. So, if somebody says I'm with my friend, ana ma'a sadiqi. Qadianis, this young generation, and those people who honestly believe in the lies of this group, why don't you investigate this? The verse of Quran says, Ma'allazina. They will be with those people like you are with your friend. Like it says, Ana ma'as sadiqi. I'm with my friend. Ma'allazina. You will be with those people like I'm with my friend. I don't become my friend. If my friend is the president of one of the country or the prime minister of one of the country, being with him, I will neither become president nor I will become the prime minister. However closely I follow, I will become none of them. If I ever do become prime minister or president, and it will be appointed by another authority, which might be electoral college or the election or something, not my friend. It's more than that. So when you do good deeds, you don't become prophet, but you will be in the company of those people. وَحَسَنُ أُولَٰئِكَ رَفِيقًا. And how nice, how good is that company? Quran is so clear book. It not only use the word ma'a, that you will be with them, but you will not be a prophet. Also, it uses the word rafiq in there. It is the company of a companion. A rafiq. You will not become the one who is with you, but you are so nice that you are worthy of that. This verse of Surah Nisa does not prove anybody prophet if you follow or if you obey the prophet. And condition is وَمَن يُطِيعِ اللَّهَ وَرَسُولَهُ. Those who will obey, complete obedience. You test them on the criteria of Quran, you test them on the criteria of world, they will come out pure. That's وَمَن يُطِيعِ اللَّهَ وَرَسُولَهُ. I'll show you that verse once more so that you don't run around. وَمَن يُطِيعِ اللَّهَ وَرَسُولَهُ. Those who will obey Allah and Rasul. And this English translation, whoever done it, all who pay heed unto God and apostle, is not a man who knows extremely good English. I mean, I have studied Arabic, I have studied English. You can see I speak English. Actually, at home, I do speak English all day. There are not many people in my household who do understand my Urdu or Punjabi, which I am able to speak as well, or some other languages. That's why I'm saying, وَمَن يُطِيعِ اللَّهَ, the one who obeyed. And obedience of what kind? That you have obeyed by the letter. Yuti means that your obedience is that even the smallest thing said by the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and his prophet, you have obeyed him. That's what the Islam means. A complete submission. That's what is وَمَن يُطِيعِ اللَّهَ. If you reach that level, then you will be ma'allazina, with those people who have been blessed by the Allah. And they are prophets, they are walis, the siddiqeen, they are martyrs, and they are the ones who always did the good deed. It's not only the prophet, but you are with these kind of people. This is the group you will be said, like there is a class 8 or class 10 or GCSEs or A levels or whatever it is. They say, if you reach this level, we will send you with them. That's all it is. This verse of Quran makes nobody prophet nobody Siddiq, nobody Shuhada, was Salihin of the group to whom they are pointed towards. But they will be in their own right similar to these people in a way that they will be worthy of the company of these people. Then Qadiani will come. Oh, you mean nowadays nobody is Siddiq, Shuhada, was Salihin if it's not Prophet? You can be, but the prophethood is categorically closed by the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Musalma Kazzab and Mirza Qadiani has got one thing in common. Both of them, Musalma al-Kazzab of Yamama and Mirza Qadiani, used to twist the meanings of Quran to deceive others. I'll give you the example of both. There is two books are written by Musalma al-Kazzab. And if you don't know his class, like they call it Firqa, Aliya, Ahmadiyya, that bullshit, sorry about that. And Musalma al-Kazzab used to call himself Firqa Rahmaniya. His first name he gave was Stathiya. He was an Arab, speaking same language, same dialect as my Aqa Maula Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He used to call himself Stathiya and Rahmaniya. That class, group of people who are truthful, Stathiya. That's what your Mirzai gives. Isra Aliya Ahmadiyya. Musalma did the same thing. He called himself Rahmani. Now listen, you watch my video, I have given a proof there. In his two books, they are called Farooq Awwal and Farooq Sani. These are the names of Musalma Kazzab books. Please read them. In Farooq Awwal, he writes the translation of Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Qadianiyo, come near to me. Nede ho jao zara thoda. Musalma Kazzab said in his book called Farooq Awwal that Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim means that the Allah, the creator of Rahman, is Rahim. He said, Musalma said, he is Rahman. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, if you read, being a Sadgi group or Rahmani group of Musalma Kazzab, it means the Allah, the creator of. I start with the name of Allah. I start with the name of Rahman's Allah, who is Rahim. That's what he said is the meaning of Bismillah Rahman. He said word Rahman in Bismillah refers to Musalma Kazzab. Like Mirza said, I'll just give you an example. He said Rahman means Musalma. He said it's me. Remember, it's Farooq Awwal is the book name. The other book which refers to this translation, if you watch my videos, you will see the scan of these books. It's the Dabistan-e-Mazahib, who was written in 1650 at the time of Mughal Emperor Akbar. That's what the Qadianis do. وَمَنْ يُطِيعِ اللَّهَ وَرَسُولَهُ فَأُولَٰئِكَ مَعَ الَّذِينَ أَنْعَمَ اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِم مِّنَ النَّبِيِّينَ وَالصِّدِّيقِينَ وَالشُّهَدَاءِ وَالصَّالِحِينَ وَحَسُنَ أُولَٰئِكَ رَفِيقًا. They will become prophets, Siddiq, Shaheed, or Saleh. You can be like them, but you cannot be someone which is forbidden in Quran. If it wasn't forbidden and you become a prophet, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will appoint you. You will be born prophet. As I said, there is a criteria of prophet. And I will show you another example. I'll show you the page of Mirza Ghulam Qadiani. There is one very famous claim of Mirza Ghulam Qadiani al-Kazzab. He says, Surah Al-Fatihah's last verse, محمد رسول الله والذين معه أشداء على الكفار رحماء بينهم تراهم ركعا سجدا يبتغون فضلا من الله ورضوانه سيماهم في وجوههم من أثر السجود ذلك مثلهم في التوراة ومثلهم في الإنجيل كزرع أخرج شطه فآزره فاستغلظ فاستوى على سوقه يوجب الزراع ليغيظ بهم الكفار. He said, this verse has been resent to me, and in this verse, Muhammad Rasulullah, I have been called Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. I'll show you the Mirza Murtad writing himself. I tell everybody, there are two questions here. The first question is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has, in Quran, there is a claim about the Quran. It says, Inna hada lafi suhufil ula. This is the same book, same teaching, same news which was given to the people before. Sahifa, Inna hada lafi suhuf mean akhbar in Urdu language, newspaper in English language. You can translate. If you know a bit of Arabic language, you will have no difficulty understanding Quran. Quran is very clear. Inna haza lafi suhufil ula. These are the same news which were given to people before. In case you don't understand, it goes on. It says Suhuf Ibrahima, the news of Ibrahim wa Musa and of Moses. Why I'm telling you this verse is, the reason is, the people before Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam were given the books Torah, Injil, and there were other heavenly books given to Prophet Ibrahim and the other prophets. None of them have got the same wording or the same language as Quran. None of them. Qadianiوں, listen to me. All the books actually came in the language of the Prophet and his nation. All books, actually until 18th century, until the beginning of or the late 18th century, it was forbidden to translate the Injil into English language. It was written in another language, but that language wasn't the language of Jesus Christ or Isa alayhi salatu wasalam as well. That's a different discussion. But all the books, every holy book has been given to the Prophet in a language which that Prophet and his nation, immediate nation, used to speak. I will come to that verse and I will tell you more about it. So the first question is, if the Surah Al-Fatiha verse Muhammad Rasulullah, which is the second part of Kalma Shahada, and this is the only place in Holy Quran where second part of Kalma Shahada is written as a whole, Muhammad Rasulullah. Mirza Qadiani Murtad say, God said it's Muhammad, Nauz Billah, is you. Mirza Qadiani Murtad has claimed to be God or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as well. You watch my video on, there are dozens of videos on my channel. It says Mirza Qadiani's ka dawa khudai, and I will translate it in English as well. So Qadianiوں, I actually, it's a lots of respect if I call you Qadiani or Mirzai, because Mirzai means the one who follow Mirza. Qadiani, who is from Qadian, you take these words and insult because you are following someone who is an absurd and absolute liar. So I have told you, you can search anywhere this word ma mean, they will be with them. And you can be salihin, you can be martyr, and you can be anything, but you cannot be a prophet. There is a reason for this thing, that why you cannot be a prophet. Now, before we go on to something else, I want you to watch this. This is from one of the famous dictionary. He has given, I have highlighted ma, and I have highlighted the meaning of ma as well. It is with, to, as. It never means you will become that person who is being referred to. It means with. No one has ever did, apart from Salma Kitab. There is, and Aswad al-Ansi as well. These two claim to be the prophet in the life of Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And Qadianiyon, I will tell you one thing. To you, they give an impression that in the life of Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the question of the life of Isa alayhi salatu wasalam wasn't a big question. This is absolutely wrong. The life and death of Isa alayhi salatu wasalam has always been very big question during the life of Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Before I go into detail to that, I want to tell you one thing. Okay. I have just mentioned that every religious book, every divine book, every message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala came to the Prophet in the language he used to speak and his nation used to speak. And as I said, I'll give you the examples from the person who was quoting that verse. Before reading this verse of Surah Ibrahim, I will refer you to another verse of Quran, which is very, very famous. It's from Surah Al-Ahzab. It's verse number 40. It says, "Ma kana Muhammadun aba ahadim min rijalikum, walakin Rasulullah wa khataman nabiyyin." Qadiani say, oh, khatam means the end, the last of it. Qadiani do two things. They interchange the meaning of Nabi and Rasul. They tell their own people the wrong meanings of Nabi and Rasul. I will answer that question in another section. But this verse says, "Ma kana Muhammadun aba ahadim min rijalikum." Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam is not a father of any man among the men, father of anybody among them. Ma kana Muhammadun aba ahadim min rijalikum. He's not really a father. There is a reason for that. Because there was one son born to the Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and his name was Ibrahim alayhi salam. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, if he would have lived, he would have become prophet. But since there was no prophet after Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam, God took him away in childhood. Qadiani says, oh, look, there is a hadith. Rasulullah said about his son, if he would have lived, he will become prophet. Why? It doesn't make Mirza a prophet. Leave all these things, polishes, your leaders show you. I'm telling to the addressing 90% of the Qadianis, you don't know these facts. You think about that. Quran Pak, I told you, all the heavenly books were in the language of the Prophet. Hence, the Holy Quran has set a criteria of prophet. The biggest criteria of prophethood, the verse is in front of you. It is Surah Ibrahim, verse number 4, without Bismillah, and verse number 5 with Bismillah. وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَا مِن رَّسُولٍ إِلَّا بِلِسَانِ قَوْمِهِ لِيُبَيِّنَ لَهُمْ فَيُضِلُّ اللَّهُ مَن يَشَاءُ وَيَهْدِي مَن يَشَاءُ وَهُوَ الْعَزِيزُ. Those who are listening to me, this is the criteria of prophethood. Wama mean, and never have we Arsalna mir rasulin, sent a prophet or a messenger, but he has addressed his people in their language that he may fully expound on message to them. As I said, that these people who do translation, they have learned English as a second language. And majority of translations are okay, but they're not perfect. And Mirzai's Qadianis have taken advantage of them. They will say, oh, we have published so many Quran in so many languages. What Qadiani, Murtaddin, I'm calling those who know what the Qadiani is, not the majority of Qadianis. I know you don't know anything about Qadiani. You have never read what Mirza has written. This group wants that the Arabic text should disappear. One day will come once they will say there is no need of Arabic text and here is the translation. And Qadiani translations, people, Muslims have written all over the world in many, many courts, including Pakistan. Qadiani translation is wrong and absurd, as I've just given you one example. That Ma is with for everybody in the entire world. But for Qadiani, it means he will become a prophet. That is a tragedy. You can become anything, but not something which is forbidden in Islam. And I've told you, Ma kana Muhammadun aba ahadi min rijalikum walakin Rasulullah. He is last of the prophet. And in case nobody understands, there is a hadith of Muslim and Bukhari which says, Ana khatamun nabiyyin. I am the last of the, I am the one who, last of the prophet, the one who stops the prophet. In case nobody understood, it says, La nabiyya ba'di. There is no prophet after me. Now, Qadianiyat is a deception, lies. They will tell you lie one after the other, actually. You say, in this hadith, it says Nabi is the one who does not bring Sharia. Rasul, the word itself in the meaning carries, that Rasul means in Arabic messenger. Nabi means prophet, somebody who tells people the right path. But he does not have a Sharia or a book with it. This hadith actually categorically says that La Nabiyya Ba'di, there is no Nabi after me. Nabi is the one who is without Sharia, without many, very few came with it. And the Quran says, Ma kana Muhammadun aba ahadin min rijalikum walakin Rasulallah wa khataman nabiyyin. He is the one who brought it. Both Hadith says La Nabiyya Ba'di and Quran says you are the last of the messenger. And this is of the meaning of the Quran. If you don't understand that, I don't know what you will understand. You can accept a wrong meaning. The meaning of Musalma Kazab who said Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim mean that I begin with the name of Rahman, Allah, Rahim. Never heard of this meaning from anybody. You can confirm it from Pakistani Mazahib and Farooq Awwal, the book written by Musalma al-Hazab, just like Mirza Qadhi. So this Surah Ibrahim verses, "Ma arsalna min rasulin illa bilisani qawmihi." We have never said, while I say wa alaikum assalam to all the people who have come here. So this verse set a criteria for prophethood. And I have given you reference and showing you the original verse. It says, we have never sent a messenger except in their language, that the language of what the prophet speaks, his language. You know what the Mirza used to do? He used to say, oh, and he would go to two Hindu people actually. Mulawamal and Shrampatlal was their name. They used to live in Qadiani and they used to hate me. They were the friends of Mirza Qadiani's close friends. He would go to Mulawamal and Shrampatlal and we'd tell them, oh, my dear Mulawamal, I have got a ilham, a message from God in English. And I'm telling you, his real one. It's written in Quran. He halts at Sila Pushab. This is absolutely rubbish English. I'm doing this session in English. I'm sure those people who are listening to me will understand. He halts in Sila Pushab. Even a child of a primary school, if he has learned English, will say it in better words. And then he will go to Mulawamal and he will say, oh, Mulawamal, I don't understand. Actually, he was mentally ill. He was schizophrenic. He wanted to give an impression to the Mulawamal and Shrampatlal that I am a saint. I am receiving messages in a language which even I don't understand. And then in his own books, Mirza Qadiani writes that a prophet cannot have a message in multiple languages. Quran says, if Allah gives you a message, you know, Mirza was schizophrenic. If you realize that, you would know what I'm saying to you. If Mirza would have read the Holy Quran even once in his life and understood it, and he was not mentally ill, and he wanted to be the prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he will never go against this criteria. He will always bring his ilham. In Punjabi, he was born in Punjab. His disciples, his people who followed him were Punjabi, and he used to speak Punjabi only in Punjabi accent. He used to read Arabic absolutely wrong. That's what the people who studied Arabic and the other thing with him, they have written about. And he was Totla. He used to say Panala, 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 and he was so mentally ill. I'll give you one example from Mirza's life. You watch his my video called Mirza Quran and Qadiani. The reference is in there. Mirza Qadiani was 10-year-old, and he came home. His mother's name was Tarak Bibi, and with affection, I guess, the people who knew Chirag Bibi, they used to call her Gasiti because she was short in height. So he went to his mother Chirag Bibi, Uraf Gasiti, Akka, which means also known as Gasiti, and said to her, I am hungry, give me something to eat. Mirza was 10-year-old. And there was nothing to eat at home that day. I have got this reference from Siratul Mahdi, which is a book of rubbish lies about Mirza Qadiani. And because these writers are illiterate, misled, so they would write these things. So they wrote that Mirza Qadiani's mother said to him, there's nothing to eat. But you can eat with achar, you know. What the achar is kind of, I'm sure even if you speak English, you will know you can get different kind of spicy fruits and vegetables preserved. It's called achar in Punjabi or Urdu language. And Mirza said, I'm not having it with achar. So his mother said, you can have it with onions. You know, it's a tradition among Punjabi families, those who are not very well off, even some who are well off, they like to eat the bread with onions for some reason. Onions and mint and something like that. Mirza said, no, I'm not having, you give me the proper meal. And there was no proper meal at home. So the mother got angry. He said, then go and eat with the ashes. Ashes mean when wood is burned, the ashes are left. He said, go and eat with ashes. I've got nothing else. This is, you have written Qadianis about the man you call prophet. You know what Mirza did? You wrote it in your book. That he went there, he put ashes on his bread, which of course would make his mother more angry about this stupid chap than anything else, and started eating the roti or the bread with it. This is a true thing. Mirza was 10 years old. There was every sign of schizophrenia and mental illness in this man. He was so mentally ill that his mother took him to a dargah where some saint was buried. And from then on, his name became Daswandi, which means he was taken there 10 times with some kind of mannat or what says, if he got better, I will do this. This mental condition was, he was mentally ill from birth, from childhood. There are many, many things I have written. This is not the time. But important thing is that Mirza was Punjabi. People who followed him for greed, they were Punjabi. But Mirza, I challenge Qadiani. If you bring, Mirza has written so-called 84 books. There are 23 volumes of Rouhani Khazain, which are basically Shaitani and rubbish Khazain. You should read those. I will not bring you the thousands of other books written about Qadianiyat, and I will only ask you to read Mirza's own book. Some of them have translated, even they have translated Mirza's own book by polishing and deceiving you. If you don't know Urdu, if you know Urdu, how to read Urdu, then you will get the real meaning of Mirza Murtad, what he wants to has written. So none of the Mirzas, those who speak English, ask your Murabbi that the Quran says that the messenger always brings the message and talk to his nation in the language he is born. You know, one of the Muslim scholars once said, he said, no, that's not the thing. Because this message was going to the multi-language linguistic people, that's why he got these things in. Islam has gone to the most multilinguistic people than anybody else. Every divine religion has gone to all the nations. And about Islam, there is a claim that we have sent this religion for all times, all nations, all human beings. If that is the argument of some foolish person, then Quran should be in multi-languages. One in this, one in that, like Mirza Murtad. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can communicate in any language. Language is not a barrier between the angels and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and human and angels, and human and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Language has never been the barrier. And the verse even says why a messenger should bring a message in his own language, لِيُبَيِّنَ لَهُمْ, so that it's fully expounded to the disciples, to the people who are followed him, that he may fully expound his message to them, so that the people, he could give his message very clearly. There is a Mirza. You read his books, he said, oh, that's the Arabic Khutbah al-Hamia in Arabic. And Mirza's mental illness would tell him, if he delivered in different languages, even English, which he never knew correctly, even decently, if Mirza knew English decently, honestly, majority of his books will be in English, but unfortunately, he was very, very sick person. And mentally, he could never learn even Persian or Arabic properly. But he has written in Hindi, Urdu, Farsi, Arabic. There is not a one full sentence in Punjabi. He has used here and there some Punjabi words because he couldn't find the alternative. Like one of his so-called rubbish alarm is Patti Putti Gai. Patti was a little town near Lahore, where Muhammadi Begum was married to a man called Sultan Ahmad Sultan Beg from there. So he said, oh, my beloved Muhammadi Begum, he has taken away, so your city will be destroyed. Mirza is dead 100 years now, almost, but he is still there. That's the condition of his predictions. So, my dear Qadianis, Mirza has not written or told you anything in Punjabi, which was his language and the language of the people where he lived. He was born in Qadiani. Everybody spoke Punjabi, and in Punjab, there's a Sikh religion. You know, Guru Granth Sahiba is in Punjabi, in old Punjabi, Thet Punjabi. But Mirza has got nothing in Punjab. He actually wanted to be English, speaking English. And said, he all said, Zila Peshawar, I love you, I shall help you. You have polished it, corrected it. Actually, he didn't wrote the word help. He said, I help you, I love you. Something like that, very broken. The minimum criteria of message of Allah, it is always in the most comprehensive language. That is the sign of the truth of that message. All those Qadianis who don't know, they must know one thing, that in Arab-speaking world, if somebody wants to teach his child the best form of Arabic, the book they teach them is the Quran, whether they are Muslim or not. That is the standard of language in Quran. It is one of the best version of Arabic language, and this is one of the best book of law. Its name is written in Lincoln's Inn, in United Kingdom, London, the biggest college of law in Lincoln's Inn, which gives you the diploma of barrister at law, and calls itself the Honorable Society of Lincoln's Inn. Quran's name is at the top of the books which are the book of law. Qadianiyوں, forget that Malladina ulaika an'ama Allahu alayhim minan nabiyyin was-siddiqin wash-shuhada was-salihin. Forget that. They are deceiving you. That means accompany with. Mirza doesn't even come close to this criteria. You bring one full page. I'm not talking of a book. I'm not talking of one full page of Mirza Qadiani writing, which is in Punjabi. I'll say, okay, forget everything. At least he fulfills one criteria of Quran. So people are writing in messages English. He never understood English, that Amir Ali Syed Saab, and anybody who wants to come and join me is very welcome. This is the criteria of a prophethood. If you have not read it before, tell Qadianis to change its translation as well. I have never seen any Qadianis coming and telling another, apart from this, oh, his message was to go to multilingual people. The Islam has gone to the every language in the world, yet it is in Arabic, and not the Arabic of the people who were poets or somebody. It is the Arabic of ordinary people, but so comprehensive that even the most modern Arab people teach this as a standard textbook of Arabic to their children, whether they are Muslim or not. That is a sign of divineness. He halts at Zila Peshawar is in itself is a sign of the falsehood and the mental illness of Mirza Ghulam Qadiani. After that, if somebody believes, there are plenty of things to say about Mirza Qadiani. That's not the only thing. Now, there are some hadiths as well. The Prophet ﷺ said, if there were a prophet after me, it would be Umar. radiallahu anhu. This is in Ahmad, Hadith number 17405, Tirmidhi 3686, and Al-Hakim 4495. This is Hasan Hadith. Hasan and Sahih are the top of the Hadith. And then I told you the other Hadith about the Prophet's son. When Prophet's Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam son Ibrahim died, we call him Alislam because our Prophet said if he would have lived, he would be a prophet. Had Ibrahim lived, he would have been a prophet. That's Ibn Majah, volume 1, book 6, Hadith number 1511. So two people in his life, he said they would be a prophet. One died as a child, the other lived and became one of the Khulafai Rashid. Both, he said, if after him anyone was a prophet, these two were definitely prophets. The son died in childhood because Allah did not want any prophet after Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And Umar Farooq lived past him and became second Khalifa Rashid. And Qadiani, these Khalifa, this mentally ill one, he is a schizophrenic. You will ask me why I call him schizophrenic. Look, I have got no hatred for you people. Actually, your love for hatred for none is the most rubbish thing. You are Qadiani group is total opposite to that. They even keep on expelling their own people. Nowadays, they don't expel it. I'll tell you briefly what's happening there at the end. So what's happening now is Umar Farooq, the Khalifa is about empire, about a regulation, about a rule. It's not somebody, those who said that this Buzurg has died and is Khalifa. They are not the Khalifa of Islam, basically. In Islam, the Khilafat is rulership. These are the illiterate people. The Mirzais, the Qadianis have taken this concept. That's another discussion for another day. So you can see two people. There are a hadith about two people. There will be the prophets. One lived past Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam and became second Khalifa Rashid. He didn't claim to be prophet anytime. Whereas Aqa Maula Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that if there were a prophet after me, it would be Umar. Qadiani will not tell you this. Who said Umar Farooq came with the sword and he said, I'll kill anybody. This proves that Qadianis are most deviated people on earth. Honestly speaking, I have seen them so near, from so close, that I never tell a lie about Qadiani. You watch my videos, you will always find them truthful. You will relate with me being Qadiani. When I say 90% Qadianis have never heard what I tell them, that is perfect. And 5 to 10% of them are those who are sitting, who call themselves Khalifa and his cronies and spending your money and making a big horses and claiming, I'm Khalifa, I should have 20 cars in front, 20 cars behind. I should have a helicopter above. Look, Khalifa is a king. So he is so Qadianiyat is a mental illness. On one hand, he says, I will not be the head of the state. We have got nothing to do with that. And then he is going like a king. Qadianis are crazy. My Aqa Maula Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in his own life, he was the absolute ruler of 22 lakh square mile of area, which is more than 6 to 7 Arab countries today. Yet, he never had. Actually, Aisha Siddiqa radhiyallahu anha used to say, we don't have a hot meal for many, many days. At the best, he used to have a hot meal once in a week. That's what his most beloved wife. Hazrat Aisha Siddiqa radiyallahu anha has said. And these murtaddeens, those who give, oh, we are the real Islam, like Musalman Kazab, oh, I'm Rahmaniya, I'm Sadkiya, and Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Mean I begin in the name of Rahman's Allah who is Rahim. Can you believe that Musalman who was speaking same dialect, same language as my Aka Maula Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam and said Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, that I begin in the name of Rahman's Allah who is Rahim. Same as Qadiani. Mirza was a photocopy of the concept of Musalman Kazab, except the fact that he came from very, very poor family. I just told you it's written in Sirat al-Mahdi. He started eating bread with the ashes. I've never seen even a middle class family who run short of proper food at any time. And the mother gets so angry that calls him to eat with a chap or onion or something else, and he starts. This is the disobedience, example of disobedience, mental illness. Prophets are never like that, my dear friends. They are never like that. They are born. Our spirits were created billions of years ago, even before the earth and heavens were created. Each spirit is sent to this world. The child's spirit is very old, but he doesn't know what's happening in the world. That's why the God has created him the way that he has to learn slowly and grow up. That's a different discussion, but this is what it is. You can see, Qadianis will never tell you these things that Hazrat Umar Farooq never became. So, this is one of the book of Mirza Qadiani. It's Shaitani Khzain, volume 22, page number 207. His name is Haqiqatul Wahi. Mean the truth of message which comes from the God. That's what the Haqiqatul Wahi actually in simple meaning. What is the truth behind it? So you can write it. It's the volume 22 of those Shaitani Khzain which the Mirzais keep on hiding from their own people. Actually, they don't sell it to everybody. This is another. He is kind of giving one of the references from the book of Daniel, which was written for Christians 400 years after the Isa alayhi salatu wassalam went to heavens, to console them. And the book of Daniel itself says it's full of lies. Mirza has copied it from that, and another day I'll tell you about this thing. And let me go up. Now, this is the last thing. One of my friend has asked me a question that how can I prove that Mirza Ghulam Qadiani was a liar? All Qadianis. If you are in Europe, I'll give you equivalent of 20 lakh rupees, which will be quite few thousand pounds or quite a few $1,000s. I'm saying it to you, I'll give you that money if you bring me these things. Because what I'm going to show you now is Mirza was it's in my previous videos as well. Mirza was a complete liar. He was actually such an absurd liar. You know, the people are writing in the comments that he claimed to be Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He claimed to be the God as well. Honestly, it was very hard for me to believe unless I read it myself. And it is in my videos in Urdu, and I will tell you in English as well. that why Mirza, when and where Mirza. I'm showing you its correct original books. This is the original writing of Mirza Ghulam Qadiani Murtad or Kazzab, whichever you prefer to call him. Uh, uh, this first reference actually is Shaitani Khazan, volume 17, page 475, Rurat Ulama. He used to give the funny titles. He said, necessity of a leader. Imam means the religious leader. That's the name of the book. He writes that पहले नबियों की किताबों और अहादीस नबिया में लिखा है, he said, it's written in the books of previous prophets and the traditions or the ahadith of Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And what you have to do is you have to bring it to me and paste it on my site or write, this is the book where this hadith is. You have to bring this hadith. In English, we call them the traditions or the sayings of Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It says in yellow now, मसीह मौत के ज़हूर के वक्त ये इंतशार नूरानियत इस he says this is a hadith कादियानी मसीह मौत के ज़हूर के वक्त ये इंतशार नूरानियत इस हद तक होगा कि औरतों को भी इल्हाम शुरू हो जाएगा. It means at the time of promised Messiah. You know, Qadiani used this word because this word has been used in Surah Nisa or Hazrat Isa alayhi salatu wassalam, which is called, who is called Jesus Christ in among English words. That at the time of promised Messiah, the Nuraniyat means the, how do you call them, this Noor, the divine thing, the divine rays will be so much, the divineness will spread so much that even women will start having revelations from the God. कि औरतों को भी इल्हाम. And then it goes on, और नाबालिग बच्चे, those below the age of 18 who are not adults yet, नबूवत करेंगे, will become prophets. He says at the time of promised Messiah, Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam never used the word promised Messiah first of all. If you bring it, he has used the word Messiah, but not promised Messiah. He has referred to Isa alayhi salatu wasalam as Isa alayhi salatu wasalam. And if Qadianis, if you don't know this issue, this was a very common issue at the time of Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and there are hundreds of tradition or ahadith about this stuff. There's not one or two, hundreds of. But you have to bring this one, the Mirza Qadiani is writing. That the divineness at the time of promised Messiah's coming will be so much that the women will start receiving the revelation. And those who are not adult will do the prophethood. Have you seen any of those two things? If you have, show us some under 18 prophet. And actually, I have never known under 18. I have seen many mentally ill ones. There are quite a few that have no clear prophet, including the a few guys in the journey, and some in Canada, and some in America. There is other people who talk about Khatm Nubuwwat, they keep on interviewing them as well. But none of them is under 18. And there is no hadith like that. And it says, Wamun Nas, the public. Wamun Nas is public. Ruhul Quds se bolenge. They will speak to the Gabriel, Jibreel alayhi salam. Who has spoken to Hazrat Jibreel alayhi salam? I know somebody. But you bring me anybody from Qadianis who has met Hazrat Jibreel. You bring people, even among those liars, and all of them were Qadianis or are Qadianis who are claiming prophethood nowadays. There are very few people from other religions or among Muslims. Can somebody tell that you can hear me and my sound is coming? I can see there are lots of messages. So if you can hear me. So Qadianis, you have to bring this hadith or a tradition from Sahasita, which are the 7 authenticated books, although Mirza goes round to the Bukhari Sharif alone as well. And he says all this will be the reflection of divineness of promised Messiah. So my dear Qadianis, you have to bring under 18 prophet and the women who have got the God's revelation, because Mirza Murtad has died long time ago. From his time you have to bring that. None. Zero. And this is a fake hadith. It does not exist in any book at all. So let's go to the next one. So if you can't bring that, so my dear, according to Quran, I have just proven from Surah Ibrahim that Mirza was a liar. So look at this second one. It's Ruhani Khazain, volume 23. You call it Ruhani Khazain, it's a Shaitani Khazain. I'll call it Khazain because there is no Ruhaniyat in it. How could a liar and Kazzab could be Ruhani? It's page number 382 and Chashma Marfa. Again, Khazain, volume 23, page 382, Chashma Marfa. Mirza Ghulam Qadiani al-Kazzab writes, एक मर्तबा हजरत सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम से दूसरे मुल्कों के अनबिया की निस्बत सवाल किया गया. Once a question was put to Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam about the prophets who came in other countries, foreign countries prophets, not from Arabia. Then Mirza goes, आपने यही फरमाया कि हर एक मुल्क में खुदा ताला के नबी गुजरे हैं. He said, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, in every country there have been the Prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then he goes on और फरमाया and said, then he writes his broken Arabic. You see, it is against me. I told you, Mirza Qadiani Murtad Al-Kazzab has never read Quran in his life. That's my challenge to Qadiani. Oh, my dear Qadianis, those English-speaking Qadianis, I've got another challenge for you. I mean, I'll read his Arabic in a few seconds. If any one of you, could bring me one of the khutbah, the sermon, the Friday sermon, which is given by Mirza Ghulam Qadiani Murtad, I will become Qadiani. Despite that, I know that Mirza Qadiani was not only a Murtad, he was a, I really want to use the words you don't want to hear. He was mentally ill. If you bring one Friday sermon, Khutbah Jummah, which was given by Mirza Qadiani, I will leave this thing. There is none, my dear. The man you think is Nauz Billah Masih Maud, the promised Messiah, which is not a term which is the Muslim term. It's nowhere in Quran. It only says, وَقَالَهِمْ إِنَّا قَتَلْنَا الْمَسِيحِ. Just Masih, not Masih Maud. Quran does not say promised Messiah Qadianiyوں. Quran says, وَقَالَهِمْ, Surah Nisa, وَقَالَهِمْ إِنَّا قَتَلْنَا الْمَسِيحِ Isa ibn Maryam, Rasulullah. See about? No. There is no Masih Maud in Islam. Only the word Masih, and immediately after Masih, Quran says Masih, Isa alayhi salatu wassalam, Ibn Maryam, who is the son of Maryam. In whole of the Quran, every prophet is addressed with first name only, including my Aka wa Maula, Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam, except one prophet whose identity has been confirmed and reaffirmed by calling him Isa ibn Maryam. Isa alayhi salatu wassalam, who is the son of Maryam alayhi salatu wassalam. Rasul Allah, and he was the messenger of Allah. He is the Masih, not Masih Maud. He was born Masih. Masih Maud is the concept of Jewish religion. Like Zilli Bruzi is a concept of Hindu religion. That promised Messiah is from Jewish religion. Zilli Bruzi is from Hindu religion. Now we come back to this hadith. This is the Arabic language of Mirza Qadiani al-Kazzab. He says, Kana fil Hinde, Nabiyan Aswad al-Laune Ismahu Kahena. Then he translates himself. He says it means there was a prophet in Hind who was black in color, and his name was Kahin. Yani, it means Kanhaiya, which means Krishna. Qadiani. First of all, there is no hadith like that. There is a hadith in Muslim and Bukhari, and I'm not reading it, I'll tell you what's in it. It says, my Aka Maula Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, anyone who speak lies, who attribute lies to me, that's what Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he makes his abode in hell. He said, anyone who attribute a lie towards me, he makes it abode in hell. So Qadiani, you have got two choices. Either bring this hadith and the one before, or accept, I will give you that hadith of Sahih Muslim and Sahih Bukhari, which means that my Aka Maula Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, if anybody attribute lies towards me, he makes his abode in hell. Or accept that Mirza's abode is in hell, or bring that hadith. This is very simple equation. Qadianiyo, you bring any khutbah of your lying khalife, Jahil. You know, your khalifas, one is more illiterate than the other, honestly. Illiteracy is utmost on them. Because they have to tell the lies. You bring one khutbah of your illiterate khalife from first Nuruddin to last this Masroor, who has talked about, where they have talked about these ahadith. No, they don't tell you. And this is in Mirza's book. I have given you the reference. You just go back and see, and you have to, and then look what Mirza says. This is very interesting. He said, आपसे पूछा गया कि आप जुबान पारसी में भी कभी खुदा ताला ने कलाम किया है? They asked Rasul Pak sallallahu alaihi wasallam, has God spoken in Parsi language to somebody? And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, yes, the gods words have come in Parsi as well. Then he gives an example. जैसा कि वो उस ज़मान में फरमाता है, ई मुश्तख़ा वरना बख़शम चैकुना, rubbish Farsi. It is not Farsi, it is Farsi. You know, the man who cannot tell a difference between Parsi and Farsis, honestly, I'm telling you, Qadianios, you are, I know you believe, your belief is such. My dear Qadiani, I've seen you from close. Your belief is such, even if the Muslims go and mark your house with the red cross, that we are going to kill them. Your belief in Mirza Murtad becomes even harder. You run away from the house, but you don't denounce him. Because, why don't you do that? Because what they have told you is very simple phrase. The Mirzais, these deceptive people at the top who even sell graves, they have told you one thing. They have said, oh, you are a real Muslim, my dear. These are your enemies. They are not real Muslims because they have denied the coming of Isa al-Islam, which they think is Isa al-Islam was Mirza Murtad. And he was supposed to come in 14th century. We'll come to that because I'm going to show you Mirza's reference just now. And say, look, what's the difference between us and them? You have believed in the Prophet. Now, Zili Bruzi is gone. Actually, Mirza has been appointed the permanent Prophet now. He says, you have accepted the prophethood of Mirza Ghulam Qadiani, who Allah said that, oh, he halts at Zila Safir, I love you, I help. These kind of things. Who came against the Quran. And he cannot tell the difference between Parsi and Farsi. Parsi don't speak Farsi. Farsi is a group of people who don't speak Farsi. Their languages are different languages. And look, that's what the Mirza is right. So, Qadianios, if you bring this hadith, honestly, 20 lakh rupees, there'll be quite a good amount of dollars or pounds in it. Any currency. Okay, that is Khadain, volume 6, Shaitani Khadain. Your Jamaat call it Ruhani Khadain. Page number 337. Shahadatul Quran. It means the witness of Quran. I told you. Honestly, Qadianiyon, believe me, Mirza Ghulam Qadiani Murtad al-Kazzab never read the Quran. खुदा की कसम उसने कभी कुरान पाक पढ़ा ही नहीं, उसको तो पता ही नहीं था कुरान में लिखा क्या. He never knew what's written in Holy Quran. Because even the man of the lowest intelligence reads that the prophet can only be given a message in his own language. This language is born with. He wouldn't bring that rubbish things which are full of these 23 volumes full of rubbish. Or bring the one page of Mirza Qadiani which is in Punjabi language. If you can't bring, then obviously there's no place of Mirza Qadiani in Islam. And these Quranic verses he quotes mostly incorrectly, writes incorrectly, hadith quote, and he copies it in his life. And there were people around him who used to tell him, write this, write that. Honestly speaking, Mirza himself wasn't doing that. Mirza was schizophrenic. Now, this hadith, again, if you bring it 20 lakh rupees, this, you have seen the reference. I have just read it in case you have not seen the reference. I have done it in Urdu, but I'm doing it in English for you. It's the Khazain, Volume 6, page 337, Shahadatul Quran. Okay? خاص کردہ خلیفہ. You read a line above, it says, مثلاً, for example, صحیح بخاری کی وہ حدیثیں, not one hadith, my dear. مرزا قادیانی مرتد القذاب says, حدیثیں, یعنی many of them. وعلیکم السلام سمر رضوی صاحب, بہت آپ کے آنے کا تو بہت خوشی ہوتی ہے. You know, some of good friends are here. So I'm just for Dr. Rizvi, I'm just telling them in English. I've already said a few times in Urdu. It says, I mean, he does understand. He's a neurosurgeon. He does understand this language very well, better than Qadiani. Maslan, Sahih Bukhari ki wo hadithen. He says, for example, those traditions of Sahih Bukhari, جن میں آخری زمانہ کے بعض خلیفوں کی نسبت قبل تھی, which talk about the khalifas of end of the days, later days, khulfa, it talks about. I mean, those ahadith of Bukhari talk about the khalifas of later days, akhri zaman, the end of the days, which some people believe these are the latter days or the last of the probably age, and end is near. That's a very different discussion. Anyway, that's what the Mirza is saying. Khas karda wo khalifa, particularly that caliph, jiski nisbat Bukhari mein likhta hai about him, it is written in Bukhari Sharif. You know, Mirza is saying one particular book of ahadith, which is two books of ahadith, have all the ahadith are sahih or hasan. 80% plus are sahih hadith. There are other type of ahadith as well, but the sahih, these are the books of sahih hadith. He says it's written in Bukhari, the book of sahih hadith. کہ آسمان سے اس کے لیے آواز آئے گی, that this caliph will be of such a caliber, he says, کہ آسمان سے from heavens a sound will come for him. A sound will come from heavens for him, for this khalifa. You understand what the Mirza said? It is written in Bukhari that in later days there will be one of the khalifa, for him a sound will come from the heavens. Then he writes in his broken Arabic, Hada Khalifatullah al-Mahdi. This is the caliph or the khalifa of Allah, the Mahdi. Al means the, it is to specify some specific person. This is the caliph of Allah, the Mahdi. Then he writes, Ab socho, now you think, Mirza, you're nede aao na zara. He says, Ab socho, कि ये हदीस किस पाया और मर्तबा की है? It means that what is the status of this hadith or a tradition? He is trying to say it is a very high status hadith. And it is in Bukhari. Mirza Murtad is saying he is in Bukhari. जो असहल कुतब के बाद किताब, जो असल कुतब बाद किताब अल्लाह है. Kitab Allah is Quran. He said, after Quran, this is the most accurate book. Bukhari Sharif. Qadiyaniyun, those who listen to me, this is the third one I am giving you 20. You bring any of them, get 20 lakh rupees. I actually give that price for the last hadith, but you can bring this one as well. Khas kar wo khalifa you bring from Bukhari, Hada Khalifatullah al-Mahdi. My price money is for the hadith after this. But I'll give you the money for this one as well. And you bring any of the hadith I have quoted now. I have got many more examples because it's the time thing. So I've restricted to these four. You have to bring a hadith which says, which is in Bukhari, and which says that when this special Khalifa, actually Mirza is saying, I'm that Khalifa, I'm that Caliph. It's me, it's about me. That's what he's trying to say. Understand? That's what he's saying. Hada Khalifatullah al-Mahdi. This is the Caliph of Allah al-Mahdi. You bring this hadith. Or write the page number. Any edition, freedom, any edition from first till last should be from Bukhari. Okay, the last one. It is Khazain volume 21. It's Ruhani Khazain. I've downloaded these things from your website, by the way. I haven't invented them. I've got the whole volumes. If you like, I can send you the whole volume or give you the whole volume as well. It is Khazain volume 21, page 359, Zamima Brahine Ahmadiyya, Issa Panjab. Brahine Ahmadiyya is one of the most rubbish books. Which, this is Issa Panjam, the 5th volume of Brahine Ahmadiyya. In the preface, you know, the Mirza took away the money, thousands of rupees those days, which comes to many million, billions of rupees in current currency, on the name that I will write 50 books in favor of Islam. This was before he claimed to be the prophet and rubbish Mahdi and all that crap he keeps on claiming. So 20 years after, people went to him after he took the money and used it. People went to the Mirza Ghulam Qadiani Murtad and asked him, you have only written 4 books and they are 2 very small pamphlets, not even one argument. It is written in Sirat al-Mahdi that all 4 volumes, only half the argument was there, whereas Mirza committed to write 300 arguments. He was a liar. I mean, I've never seen such an absurd liar in my entire history I have ever read. What to talk of my life? In his Panjam, he gives an explanation why he has not written 50 volumes. It is page number 9 of the same book, volume 21, 359, page 9. It'll say Brahine Ahmadiyya Issa Panjam, it wouldn't say Zamima. And I'm giving you just a translation of it. He said, since a difference between 5 and 50 is a dot, nukta, a dot. He says if you write 50 in Urdu language, or you do use a dot rather than a round zero. That's why Mirza Qadiani Murtad, you called it a nukta, because zero is called nukta in Urdu numeral writing. So he said, since the difference between 5 and 50 is a dot, which has got no value, hence my promise of writing 50 books is fulfilled by writing 5 books, which actually were very small. Qadiani, in court of law, this is called fraud, right? They would have hanged Mirza Qadiani Murtad al-Kazzab upside down, and he would receive in Islamic country hundreds of lashes, and in Western country he'll be locked up for rest of his life. It is, I've given you the reference. This is written in the same book. Anyway, we leave that for now. Let's talk about last. All my dear unknowing Qadianis, those who don't know what the Qadianiyat is, but you say, oh, ikhlas hona chahiye. You have to be faithful to Mirza Masroor al-Kazzab, schizophrenic. You know why I say Mirza Masroor is schizophrenic? Don't you notice? He cannot look into your eyes. His legs trembles. He cannot say one word without looking on the piece of paper. He is a mentally ill, stupid chap. You have made donkey a Khalifa. I mean, whatever Khalifa you have, that's your definition. Our Khilafat means government. But don't say anything. I don't mean any insult to anybody, honestly speaking. If you would have known Qadiani as much as I know, because I have read all the Ruhani Khazayans and hundreds of other Qadiani books. Khutbat-e Ahmadiyya and oh, you name it, Taskara and Siratul Madi, you know. That's why I decided to let you know what you are following. Yes, honestly. Let's talk about this hadith first. I've just given you the reference. It's in Zamima Brahine Ahmadi Aisa Panjam, volume 21 of Khazain. It says, ऐसा ही अहादीस सहीया में आया है. He's saying this is one of the sahih ahadith, many tradition, many ahadith, not one or two or three, many. Mirza Murtad is saying, many of the ahadith say, and those are sahih. These can be sahih, hasan, marfu, and there are different types of them depending on the accuracy of transmission. But Muslim and Bukhari all sahih hadith. They are the top level of authenticated. It says, it is written in Sahih, the best hadith, the confirmed hadith is written in there. कि वो मसीह माऊद, the promised Messiah. Remember Qadianis? There is no Maud in Islam. This is in Jewish religion. There is no Zidi Brozi in Islam. This is in Hindu religion. You know where Mirza got these concepts? There is no Masiih Maud. Masih وَقَوْلِهِمْ إِنَّا قَتَلْنَا الْمَسِيحَ عِيسَى ibn Maryam Rasul Allah. Masih, not Masih. He says कि वो मसीह माउद सदी के सर पर आएगा. That promised Messiah will come in the beginning of the century. He is talking Hijrah. You know Hijrah calendar of Islam? और वो 14वीं सदी का मुजद्दद होगा. Mujaddad is a reformer. He is not a prophet, not a wali. He is a scholar. Mujaddad is a scholar. Many people believe the Mujaddad of 14th century was Maulana Abul Ala Maududi, and I agree with it. Mujaddad is a reformer or a scholar. Now look at the illiteracy. You know, once I heard this hadith, you know, when I first came across Qadianis, this was the very first thing Qadiani told me. His name is that stupid chap was Ataul Majib Rashid, who was the Imam of London Mosque. He said to me, he said, oh, जाओ पूछो मुसलमानों से 14वीं सदी में ईसा अलैहिस्सलाम ने आना था, वो कहाँ है? अब तो 15वीं सदी आ गई है. ये है इनके झूठ का सबूत. Honestly, in English I will tell you what he said. He said, Isa alayhi salam was supposed to come in 14th century according to Hadith and Quran. Now it is 15th century. There is no sign of Isa alayhi salam. And he said with such a affirmation, he is the biggest liar I have ever come across. He said to me with such a affirmation, and I thought, oh my God, I never knew that Isa alayhi salam was going to come in 14th century. And this, I went round and I asked him, where is the reference? He said, go and ask your own scholars. Why are you asking us? They say this. That's what Qadianios, they tell you. You ask your Murabbi. He said, oh Lord, ji, wo to duje Musalman kehndे ne na, unna kol ja ke pucho, sanu kyo puchde ho? That's what your Murabbi will tell you. Honest to God, you go today to your Murabbi. Hey, show me the Hadith of 14th century. He said, go and ask the Muslims. They say the Isa alayhi salam ne told me that Isa alayhi salam is going to come in 14th century. He hasn't arrived. That's their problem, not our problem. That's what Qadiani, they told me. That Isa alayhi salatu wassalam was going to come in 14th century, and this was the saying of real Muslims, not Qadiani Murtaddin. And he was their chief, this Ataul Mujib Rashid. And I said, oh my God. I went to every scholar. I went to Pakistan. I went to every decent scholar known. They said, no, there is no such a hadith. Then I went to one of the Egyptian scholars, who later was very famous for his knowledge of Islam. And I said to him, I've studied hadith, I've studied fiqh, I have memorized Quran. But I don't remember this thing, and this Mirza is telling me that I shouldn't ask him, where is the concept that Isa alayhi salam will come in the 14th century, and now it is 15th century, and he told me that it's not what the Qadianis or Mirza Ghulam Qadiani Murtad followers says. It is the saying of mainstream Muslims, real Muslims. That Egyptian guy told me, oh, no, there is no such a this. And he was a professor in Jamia Al-Azhar University. And he was the expert on hadith. And he said, no such a hadith. But he says, who told you? Is it Qadiani group who told you? I said, exactly right, my dear. That's what he said. He went somewhere. He wrote a reference for me on there. He said, that's Mirza Ghulam Qadiani Azab's book. It is written there. That's what I'm showing to you, Qadiani. Next time, once they tell you, that's what the non-Ghair Ahmadi, as you call them, Ghair Ahmadi says that the Isa alayhi salam has to come in 14th century. My dear Qadianis who speak English, trust me, we never said that Isa alayhi salam was going to come in 14th century, right? This is written in Mirza Qadiani's book. It is Khazain, volume 21, page 359, Tamima Brahim and the Isa Panjab. And this is the Mirza Murtad is the only one who said that. I will give you 20 lakh rupees in any currency of the world if you bring one Sahih Hadith. One Sahih Hadith. Mirza says there are plenty of them, which says that Isa alayhi salatu wasalam will come in. There is none. And second thing, look, this is the Mirza mentally ill schizophrenic. Schizophrenia means split personality. Split personality is he says one thing at one time and says exact opposite on the other time. That's what these skids mean. Skids mean split. Schizophrenia means personality. That's what Mirza Qadiani was. Schizophrenia. Split personality. Look, within one line, you tell me one thing. Qadiani, give me an answer. Without hadith, let's talk about what Mirza Murtad has written. I mean, he has written such an amount of rubbish, which is unbelievable. He said, Masih Maud, the promised Messiah, will come in the beginning of the century. Who is Masih in Quran? Masih Isa ibn Maryam, Surah An-Nisa, wa qala inna qatal al-Masih. Isa ibn Maryam, Rasul Allah. There is no other identity in Quran who is such a strong identity as this one. You know, Pakistani writes your father's name on the passport so that one Noor Elahi could not be mixed with the other Noor Elahi. They will differentiate by the father's name. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has written the mother's name. Isa ibn Maryam, Rasul Allah, his designation, the Prophet of Allah, the Rasul of Allah. So he said, wo Masih Maud. So Masih, who will be Masih according to Quran? Who will be Isa alayhi salam? And who is Isa alayhi salam? He is the son of Mary alayhi salatu wasalam. And what is his designation? Rasul Allah, Rasul of Allah. Qadianiyon Mirza writes, और वो 14वीं सदी का मुजद्दद होगा. लानतुल्लाह अलल काज़िबीन, लानतुल्लाह अलल काज़िबीन, लानतुल्लाह अलल काज़िबीन. He said that Isa, that Masih will be the reformer of 14th century. How could a reformer be a prophet? Or Mahdi? Or Masih? Mujaddad is a scholar, is a reformer. He did not even had the audacity to say that he will be the prophet of God. These are very few examples. I've got dozens of, actually I can speak for months and months about his mentally ill arguments, which are not only wrong, they are funniest of the fun. Qadianiyon. Mirza, if he would have been prophet, he would have been grown like a prophet. Unblemished. Blemish is very small thing for Mirza Qadiani Murtad al-Khatta. His entire life is full of death. Within the same line, firstly, there is no Sahih hadith about, no tradition of a Sahih tradition about these, which means very Sahih means confirmed. Since the word Sahih is used, I'm asking you to bring one Sahih hadith which says Masih Maud, even if it is wrong by the wording of it. There is no word Maud in Islam. None. Zero. It is only Masih. And once in Quran it is said who is Masih is Isa alayhi salatu wasalam. You bring hadith, okay, half of it. I give you a bonus that wo 14वीं सदी का मुजद्दद होगा, he will be the reformer of 14th century. I forgive you that. Okay, let it not be there. Whereas this is the major controversy. Because you believe Mirza Qadiani was Mahdi. The minimum you believe is Al-Mahdi. Whereas your Khalifa and their fraudulent cronies, they believe that he is the prophet. And Mirza himself, honest to God, he once said one thing and exactly opposite on the same line. Look here, he says, I am Masih. Within the same line, he says, I am Mujaddid. I'm not a prophet. Mujaddid cannot be a prophet, and prophet cannot be a Mujaddid. Prophethood in itself contains every quality of reformer. His example is like a prime minister. You can be directly a prime minister, never being any other minister or any other position. But being a prime minister, you have got inbuilt duties of many different kinds. So in the prophethood, reformer is one of the things, but he is never a mujaddid. He is a prophet. And a prophet, mujaddid, does the things on the basis of the message or the divine books which are already present there. He doesn't get the directions from the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that I have been given this revelation. He doesn't get ilham, he doesn't get wahi, he doesn't get revelation. He doesn't say that these are my prophecies. In Mirza's case, every prophecy is wrong. Mujaddid never gets. How could Mirza call himself Mujaddid? Because he was mentally ill psychopath. He did not know the meaning of any of the things. He would say what a mentally ill person would say. If you remember one word, he is schizophrenic, you will know why he is saying this. Now, this is his writing. He said, it will come on the 14th century. The whole line is a contradiction in itself. So you have to bring this, and I will give you the. If you couldn't bring any of these ahadith, which I have shown you, and these are the, you can download from your website as well, before they change and get something else from there. So none of these ahadith are true, which has got only one meaning. This is the last one I'll show you today. This means one thing. They say hadith, my responsibility to bring it from Muslim and Bukhari. My Aqā Mawla Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, the one who attributes lies to me has made his abode in hell. If you cannot bring any of these ahadith or traditions of my Aqā Mawla Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wasallam, then according to the Sahih Hadith of Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wasallam, Mirza Ghulam Qadiani has an abode in hell and nowhere else. In Urdu, he is called Jahannami. If a man is Jahannami and his abode is hell, he cannot even be a simple, straightforward human being as well. He has to be a deceptor, liar, sinner, everything you can attribute to. If you think I'm saying wrong, then you have to bring these ahadith and write the reference underneath it. I will promise I won't let anybody make any change to that, what you will write as a reference. And if it be correct, you will get the monetary reward. Since nobody has come, and I will stop. Thank you very much. Before going, I will thank you very much for Dr. Samad Rizvi to come around and listen to what I have to say. If you are there, you can come. I can post this link again if it is of any help. Anybody who wants to come, there is a link. You can come and have a live chat with me. And I particularly say it to those Qadianis who have written many messages in my website and have sent me the messages. My head will spin with their arguments. Of course, my head spin if you tell lies and lies and lies, and you are illiterate and you are or read 100 pages before, 100 pages after, whereas we give a PhD degree on one line reference. So the 200 pages and 200 pages after. What kind of people are you? And when you get reference, oh, look, La taqnatus salah, it's written in Quran, don't go near this law. Or don't even bother to read the whole verse which says don't go near salah if you are drunk or you have done something else. There are conditions there. For you, a reference can be 2 words. For us, it has to be 3, 4, 500 pages. I mean, where your illiteracy finish? I don't know. But majority of those, this is your so-called akhlaqs or your obedience to an illiterate idiot who is schizophrenic, Masrura, and his fraudulent cronies. It's nothing more than that. Majority of you are very straightforward people. This is my experience. You believe in Qadianiyat because you really believe Qadianiyat is true. Honestly, once I realized that your belief in Qadianiyat is based on the belief that Qadianiyat is real Islam, and you have never read these things, you have never known Mirza Ghulam Qadiani was schizophrenic idiot who never had any decency in his life. He was a thief. He was caught as a thief. You have documented that. He was a sinner. He wanted to have sex with the Muhammadi Begum with marriage or without marriage. He said prophecies. None of them was proven. He was only Turkey, which means that he didn't have any manly power. He had erectile impotence, which is associated with other impotence. And for the disappointment of you, honestly speaking, I'm not insulting you. None of the children born of Nusrat Jahan Begum belonged to Mirza Ghulam Qadiani because he was medically, what he describes about himself, he couldn't have a child. And he had 10 children. I mean, he must have very strong assistants who were helping him having children because Mirza was not able to. So, Qadianiyo, I believe that you are 90% of you are very decent people. You have got nothing like what the Mirza Qadiani had. Oh, before I go, I'll tell you something about Nadaul Nasser. You know, Nadaul Nasser case has been closed by the police. It was few months ago. What this Masroora and company has done is they have pressurized the mother of Nadaul Nasser so much. They threatened them. They said they will have them killed, and they have used every means. Therefore, even the mother tried to withdraw her evidence. And nobody among Qadianis gave the witness. They asked Mirza Luqman, who actually had a sex with his own daughter all his life. He raped an 8-year or younger girl. And I can tell you something. I don't say hearsay or anything. I have met these girls from Mirza Khandan, and I was shocked once I realized that none of them is a virgin girl before marriage. Actually, the youngest daughter of Mirza Tahir was divorced from the first marriage, who was done to Mir of Lahore, Hamid Nasrullah's son Mansoor Nasrullah, because she was not virgin. And Nadaul Nasser was divorced because of the same reason for her first marriage. I've got nothing against it. It is in Western world, it's not even a sin or anything, but in Islam, it's a sin. And we have played the true recordings of lots of people. They are on our channels as well. But they have pressurized both mother and daughter. And I'm very disappointed that Nadaul Nasser actually has eased away. They probably have got scared. However, the police probably would have said to them that if any witness comes forward, they will reopen the case. Nadaul Nasser needs to know that. But putting a curtain on the infidelity and the bad behavior of this family, and There is no girl who is 18-year-old in Mirza Qadiani's Khandan who is a virgin woman. There is a guarantee of it. There was one woman who was the girlfriend of Mirza Luqman or his elder brother, who later married. Her name is Apa something, who was the second wedded wife of Mirza Nasir. You know, her story is there was a man called Ayub in Mayo Hospital she was the girlfriend of him because she was a doctor. I forgot her name. I've actually met her as well. Uh, and she used to have sex with him. Then Mirza Luqman saw her and she went through with him. And then many other people. And then he got married to Mirza Nasir. And Mirza Nasir died because he took some medication to get rid of erectile incompetence or impotence, maybe. And he died while having a sex with her. All the Mirzai Khalifa died in a very bad state. Their second Khalifa died after having a stroke for 11 years plus. He used to eat his own feces. There's a witness to that. And for 10, 11 years, he couldn't say a word. And they keep on telling you a story. Oh, ji, hamara ek dushman aaya, usne chaku maar diya uski gardan mein. Which means that one of the enemy of Qadianiyat came and he actually stabbed him in the neck. Bullshit. I mean, there is, as I say, 90% of Qadianis are very truthful people. They actually believe in Qadianiyat with whole heart. And when a person like me speak, they actually get very upset. But my dear Qadianis, I don't have any disrespect for you, those unknowing people who know nothing and think, oh, that is the real Islam. And then they tell him, oh, there's no difference between us. Our namaz is the same. Our Quran is the same. We believe in Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Look, we say La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. Next time I will tell you why reading kalama doesn't make you Muslim. And why kalama shahada is a necessity to become a Muslim. I will tell you the difference between two next time, hopefully on Saturday. So this story, once the Qadiani listen, oh, dekho, look, I do the same prayer as anybody else. I read the same Quran. Actually, I went to the ordinary Qadianis and one of the Qadiani ladies, she was very nice. And she said to me, oh, look at that. No, I mean, you are quite misled about Qadianiyat and we Ahmadis are very good. Look, I've got a Taj Company Quran and Taj Company translation in it. I don't even go for Tafsir Saeed, which is the wrong translation of Quran written by an Murtad called Mirza Bashiruddin. So I said to her, I'm not saying it. I'm saying it after doing lots of research on Qadianiyat. Have you read these things? So initially, she did not agree to listen to me. She said, no, I don't want to listen anything you have to say. You don't even talk to me. So anyway, one day she called me and she said, show me what you wanted to show me. Because somebody made him upset from the Jamaat. That's what they refer to their fraudulent organization as Jamaat. So she said, show me those things. So I showed her these ahadith. I showed her Mirza's other claims. I showed her lots. I mean, Mirza's book is full. To leave Qadiani, you have to read only one or two of these Khazain Jalsaji rubbish. You will immediately realize that this is written by mentally ill, fraudulent person. So when I showed her these references, actually, not only it took her about 6-7 months. It's not easy for a Qadiani to leave Qadiani that I have shown the wrong hadith. Mirza is a liar and he is a murtad, and because Sayyid Holy Spirit said he is so. No Qadiani will accept this statement of me. So she reflected for 7-8 months. That was few years ago. And not only she left Qadianiyat, 39 members of her family actually accepted Islam in front of my eyes. When ordinary Qadianis go through these things, and I'll tell you something, to all the Qadianis, these things, this religion has to do with our life and death. This is a very long discussion, but you shouldn't be afraid of leaving Qadiani. Just leave it. And I promise to you, I have seen with myself. Her younger son used to tell me that, oh, I have got a difficulty finding a job, and that job in Pakistan, and the people fired me, and they said, oh, no, we are not going to have you here because you are Qadiani. And I said to him, look, the thing is, I have never seen a Qadianiyat or a Qadiani who has left Qadianiyat and his circumstances have gone worse. The fact is that the Qadiani circumstances become much better. If there is something is not being done in your life, or you have got some obstruction, it will go away. Definitely. The moment you will leave Qadianiyat, you will become much better. Financially, ethically, in every way. And before I go, I have sent a link. And there are not many cars. This is a proof. All those who keep on coming, I only speak English, so Mufti Saab couldn't give me an argument. Why don't you come, my dear? I've been advertising this for many days. Come around. Tell me what you want to say. And I can tell you, I can understand Arabic. I can speak enough Arabic to understand Quran. And I've studied fiqh and hadith. I've got a formal education of these two things as well. So you come and bring all those rubbish things. You say, Qadianis have developed a story which has got no legs if you know what the Mirza Qadiani has. Current Qadiani beliefs have got nothing to do with Mirza Qadiani. They have been developed by Mirza Bashiruddin, who called himself Muslim. And the thing is, there is a man called Jamba nowadays. You can Google him. He even does a khutbah Jummah every day. You have to be mentally ill to stay in Qadianiyat and claim to be Muslim. Jamba, one day I heard him saying in his khutbah Jummah, oh, these walls whisper to me, the air talks to me, and they give me the messages. I said, my God. Have you met a man who speaks to the walls and air whisper to him? This is the state of Qadianiyat. So, last word is, please bring any of these hadiths from Sahih books, as Mirza Qadiani Murtad al-Qassab has said himself. And you get the money, and I will never say a word about you in future. I've said it many times. وَمَا عَلَيْنَا إِلَّا الْبَلَاغُ الْمُبِينُ. So my best wishes to all those. وَسَلَامٌ عَلَى مَنِ اتَّبَعَ الْهُدَى.